LAFC. How's that looking? All right, come on in, everybody. Good to see you. Defenders, you give me strength. Come on in. This is Max Live every night on Thursday at 8 o'clock. We had a bonus Max Live, had Carly Lloyd. If you want to see that, it should be available on the stories for LAFC. We're going to be joined here by Pablo Sisniega here shortly to check on what he is doing. And in fact, I think he is here. So you've heard enough of my yapping. I know. When you come up and you have to see my face first, you must get a little fatigued. Maybe not too fatigued, just a little bit. All right, we're here together. It's awesome to be with you. Let us get Pablo Sisniega in here. Mark Anthony K, Jordan Harvey, and now Pablo Sisniega. Pablo, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you, Max. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I gotta forgive me. Hold on one moment. Now look at this. Look at this. Pretty nice.
It's a good look.
Some people may have seen you had a little bigote going. You had a little mustache. It's gone.
It's gone. It's gone. It just, I just knew it just wasn't a look anymore. I saw it and I was like, looked in the mirror after a month and I was like, yeah, it's not a look. So I had to shave it off.
Wait, how old? You're 24 now?
I'm 24.
Okay. But you have like you have a jovencito, you know?
Yeah, I look young.
So maybe a stash would have given you a little, walk around cred.
That's what my fiance said. She was like, you looked older with that. Now you look much younger.
I see a couple comments already here. So, but wait, hey, I'm not here to talk about the mustache. We're going to here to talk about a few things, see what you're doing to stay sharp. But as I start with everyone, how are you doing right now? We all have our own individual quarantine. I know you're with your fiance. What's going on in the Pablo Ponderosa, as we like to say?
I'm doing well here. Luckily, she was able to get in before all this got crazy. So she got in here a week and a half before everything kind of went down and everything shut down. So that's been really nice because if not, I'd be here by myself. So obviously,
was that a possibility? She almost didn't make it because of the lockdown with flights?
Yeah, she almost didn't make it. So it would have been bad, obviously.
So, but you're keeping. I know we've talked to the coaches, and they have a Zoom call, so you kind of get every day to see everyone's face, to kind of get acquainted, have conversations over video, which is probably the best we can do right now. Correct?
Yeah. Well, we've been doing Zoom calls, and we've also been doing like Zoom workouts where we kind of work out through Zoom, and we just kind of do stuff that either Daniel or Tom kind of leads us through it. So it's been nice because you get to see the guys, and you're still working out, you're still staying active. So it's better than just doing everything by yourself.
I know a lot of people love you, man. They when they got to see you play as well. I will tell you this. We were doing the MLS gaming or the LAFC gaming, and Remy Martin likes to put you in at goal at the start. So we saw Pablo Sisniega. You made a penalty save in one of his games. So the virtual Pablo's doing good.
That's good to hear, and it was fun. It was fun to play Remy in preseason too. We had a good time. So
who's good? I mean, have you been gaming?
I've been playing a lot of FIFA, to be honest. That's what I mainly do.
But I hear this a lot. By the way, we are presented by Veronica's Insurance. So thank you to our sponsors to allow this every week. We have a new sponsor. All our great partners are coming up big time. So Pablo Sisniega, this conversation, Max Live, presented by Veronica's Insurance. So we saw Dio. He has Call of Duty, but he was pretty good at FIFA. He went on there and he beat these guys pretty good. 4-0 against the Fire.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that, and I think I'm better than Dio, but it'd be a good match. We'd have fun.
Tenemos un desafío. we got a challenge going here. Why not? So I know some people in LAFC gaming. Maybe we can make a phone call and we can figure that out.
Yeah, we could do it. We could do it for sure. We could have a little tournament. It'd be fun.
All right, Pablo. I saw a video. Was it Claudio? It's the Manchester City goalkeeper. So Claudio Bravo.
Yeah.
Claudio Bravo. He had a trampoline, and he hits the ball on the trampoline, and he had a little goal behind him. He runs back and times to save. And I thought to myself, it's got to be more difficult for goalkeepers than field players who can hit against a wall, do sort of mimic moves.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done to kind of mimic being a goalkeeper on a day-to-day with the space that you have?
Well, obviously I'm living in an apartment here, so I don't have a backyard where I can do a lot of different things. So what I've been doing is I learned to juggle, which I read is really good for hand-eye coordination. So I've been doing that
This
every
juggle.
day. Yeah. So I've actually gotten pretty good at it. So now I'm doing it easy, no problem. I can do it for 100, 200, no problem. I can do it one hand, two, like either hand. So, and I saw Petr Cech, the goalkeeper. He's doing like these different drills. So I'm trying to kind of mimic what he's doing. And then I've also been doing a lot of plyometric work, which is just kind of what I can do here in my apartment. And I know my neighbor downstairs is probably not very happy, but but I mean,
So
I got to
plyometrics
do
is jumping.
yeah,
Jumping, so you work on your agility.
yeah. So working
All
on my
right.
agility and different kind of like different just plyometric exercises that I can do here because it's the easiest way to kind of stay active and to do something that would be similar to what you're doing in goal while I'm in my house, you know?
Someone said don't juggle chainsaws, but if you're getting really good, you could probably juggle a chainsaw.
I'm not there yet. I don't think I'm willing to risk it right now.
What is it, tennis balls?
Yeah, just tennis balls. Just tennis balls.
That's really interesting. So what about fitness? Is that something that concerns you as much? Because as goalkeepers, obviously you're not like logging 10 kilometers, but
Mm-hmm.
still something that's important, no?
Well, I have a bike here and I have some weights that I took from the club, and I'm just kind of I'm of exercise because if not, I feel like I'm going crazy. So every single day I'm working out because it's like I need that kind of to get me through the day. So I'll either do it in the morning or in the afternoon, or even sometimes I'm kind of lazy and I do it at night. But I feel like I need to do that to be able to sleep. If not, it's like I wasted a day.
I think it's a real big challenge, Pablo, because I've seen you guys train, and it's a workout, and it's intense, and you can create things that cover that intensity, but it'll never be completely apples to apples at any point. Is there a way to bridge it on personal level? Because those guys can obviously Zoom it, but I guess you mentioned it in some case, but are you able to fill that void where you go to bed tired?
I mean, yeah, because if you do a lot of like HIIT training, which is high intensity interval training, then you're getting a lot of these different exercises that really get your heart rate up. So like I end up drenched in sweat just doing stuff here in my living room. So there's really no excuse that you don't have space. Like if you have a little bit of space, because my apartment's not that big, I'm getting work done. I'm staying fit and staying active, you know? So it's just obviously it's not the same as doing the drills with Zachy where you're diving around like crazy, but it's still similar where you're getting your heart rate up so that when we're able to go back to training, I'll be able to I'll be in good shape and it won't be that hard for me to get back into that game shape, you know?
This is Max Live presented by Veronica's Insurance. We have Pablo Sisniega. And what else? You mentioned FIFA. Obviously, getting your training in as much. What else do you do to pass the time?
Oh, well, we watch Netflix here. I've been reading a couple of books, so just
I
kind of
love
doing that.
books.
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
are you reading?
I just finished reading Atomic Habits, and I literally finished it today, and I thought it was good because it had a lot of different points of like how you can build good habits and maintain them. And I'm also reading Why We Sleep, which kind of talks about the importance of getting regular sleep and the benefits that has for your health.
I'm all about extra sleep. If they tell me to sleep an
Yeah.
extra hour, I got that covered. How often do you put down a book? How long can you? Because it takes me about 2 months to read a 400-page book.
Usually it'll take me about a month. So I'll do like
Okay.
a book a month because there's times where I'll get really into a book and I'll read it in, let's say, 2 weeks. And there's other books that'll take me 2 months to get through. So I'd say on average, it'd be like a month, more or less.
Did they say anything about your dreams in this Why We Sleep? Is that something we need to connect with a little bit more?
Yeah, but I actually haven't gotten to that chapter. I think that's like the 14th chapter. So I'm in like the 9th chapter. So I haven't gotten to that.
Well, you're a smart guy, and your mother was a sports psychologist, correct?
Well, she is a sports psychologist.
She is a
Yeah.
sports psychologist. But has she given you advice on how to handle this? It has to be pretty handy. I wouldn't mind taking if your mom had a few minutes to kill if she.
No, yeah, she's definitely been very helpful. I mean, I talk to her almost on a daily basis, and basically what we've talked about is just kind of working on strategies to keep active and to kind of keep thinking about things without going crazy, and kind of strategies to deal with that. So I've been doing a little bit of mindfulness, which is kind of meditation, different things, where I do that 10 minutes a day and just kind of sit down and work on that. But there's obviously different things you can do while you're stuck at home, you know?
This is fascinating to me. I think a lot of people would share it because as a goalkeeper,
Mhm.
there's some goalkeepers that have great teams in front of them. You end up facing 2-3 shots, but you got to make if you face one shot, you got to save that. So it's just I guess a repetition to be focused all the time. A field player can take his eye off the ball, it slips off his foot, it's fine. You can't
Mhm.
do that. So is there something you tell yourself to stay completely engaged? I remember some goalkeepers like Schmeichel and Francisco Toldo was one. His eyes were always moving, always moving. Is there things like that that you keep engaged to be completely locked in?
Well, there's something interesting that I saw, like what I read while like looking at mindfulness and these different things, where it's kind of like you open and you close a section. So let's say you're going to the first half of your game, and then you're going in there and you're like, I'm going to be focused and I'm going to take these times. Obviously, you can't be focused for 45 minutes because that's impossible, but you're focused when the ball is in, and then you open that chapter, and then when those 45 minutes are up, you kind of close that, take 15 minutes to regroup, and kind of start over for the second half. And then every time the ball goes out, you kind of see if you can work on your defense and communicate. But you're not focused the entire 45 minutes because that's impossible. So you take little breaks, but you're focused when it really matters, and that way you can make the big saves.
I think that's great feedback for any young kids or older kids who are watching this right now. And Pablo's a great lesson because he's a young goalkeeper who's, I mean, you crafted your trade in Spain. You're from Mexico, so you've absorbed a lot of information at an early age. How much of that do you lean on, and how much is your mind still open for new ideas?
Oh, well, for me, it was a big change when I came here to LA because Zaki's training was so different to what I was used to that it kind of forced me to open my mind. Because I'm telling you, the first month I was like, "What is this? It's so different to the training in Spain, and it's so different to what I'm used to." And then little by little, I was like, I gotta be more open minded, and I realized that a lot of the things he was telling me was actually helping me in my game, and it actually helped me to perform well when I got the chance. So kind of having that open mindedness and keep working on it and keep improving, it has helped me just get better and get to where I am, you know?
Zach Abdel, the goalkeepers coach, one of the great people. I miss him very much. I'm sure you do as well. Even his hard workouts.
Yeah, yeah,
A couple a couple of people have mentioned that. Ricky, I'll give him credit. He goes, "What goalkeepers did you enjoy watching when you were coming through the ranks?"
yeah. Well, I think there's three big goalkeepers that I really looked up to and that I really enjoyed watching, and they would have to be Luis Michel, who played in Chivas and who now is in Tijuana, and he's actually a role model that I talk to on a fairly regular basis. So he's really helped me. Also, Osvaldo Sanchez in Mexico, who also played for Chivas, and he actually kind of got me started and kind of grew my love for the position. And obviously Iker Casillas, who was also one of my big idols growing up.
It's interesting you say that. In the United States, we had this golden generation of goalkeepers: Brad Friedel, Casey Keller, Tim Howard, and we were known to create goalkeepers. And I don't think Mexico gets enough credit. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, someone flashed Jorge Campos.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Osvaldo Sanchez, Luis Michel. Who's the
Obviously, I have
American keeper?
Ochoa,
Memo
Memo
Ochoa.
Ochoa. Obviously, I have him who's been
Are we not
very,
giving them
very
enough
successful.
credit for their goalies?
I think so because if you see the Mexican league, I mean, now there's being more and more Mexican goalkeepers, and they're very good. I mean, you have like the Rodolfo Cota who we played against, and he's in León, and we saw some of the saves that he made. I mean, he's a very good goalkeeper. So there's a lot of different goalkeepers in the Mexican league and Mexican goalkeepers who are very, very good. I don't think they get enough credit.
Yeah, Jesus Corona, someone mentioned.
Yeah,
I got scolded because I didn't remember Memo Ochoa, but I did in the end. What about, remember Conejo Perez?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He played till like he's 50, not 50,
Yeah.
like 43. It's
He's a great
amazing.
guy. He's a great guy. I met him at Acapulco one summer when I was just there on vacation. He was actually in preseason with Pachuca, and I was at that time I was at Real Sociedad, and I went up to him and I told him, hey, like I really admire you. I know that you've been like everything you've done and everything. He's like, oh, like, do you play? And I was like, yeah, I'm actually in Real Sociedad on their B team. And he was like, oh,
He's like, oh,
he's like, oh, that's amazing. Like, I'm gonna follow you. So for me, it was just, it kind of had an impact on me that this guy who's been to, I think, 3 World Cups told me like, I'm gonna follow you when I think I was 18 and 19 at the time. So it was pretty cool.
it seems like it's a good fraternity amongst the Mexican goalkeepers.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah.
fair? I mean, it's like there's good vibes going on there.
Yeah, I think so. I think that in general, Mexican people are kind and are just friendly to each other, and I think that kind of carries over with other goalkeepers, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Mexican people are the goods. Gracias al pueblo mexicano, a todos ustedes. This is Max Live presented by Veronica's Insurance. Pablo Sisniega joining us. And you mentioned your time at Real Sociedad. Curious, you probably been asked this before. What was the legend of Carlos Vela like when you were there? Because people don't know how big time he was while he was in, was that Pamplona? No,
No, he was in San
in
Sebastian, San
Victoria.
Sebastian. Or
San
Woody.
Sebastian, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
in
going to
San
get in trouble with
Sebastian.
the Basques, which is a bad idea.
No, obviously, what he could do on the field it was special, you know. Like there was one game against Celta I remember watching at the stadium where he scored 4 goals and he just kind of took over the game. And he had that ability, and well, he still has it, where he just takes over games and just is a special talent, you know.
You were interesting when I see you at training because obviously your English is fantastic. You grew up in Mexico and then spending time in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
With all the Spanish speaking players here, you're a unique conduit
Mm-hmm.
because especially with the new group. So what was that like? Did you feel like you needed to maybe communicate a little more when Pancho arrived and Chiqui arrived and Cifuentes arrived?
Yeah, I mean they're all great guys, and it's been really easy to kind of to get to know them because they. I mean, obviously my Spanish is perfect since I grew up in Mexico,
Your
and kind
English
of
is perfect. Your
yeah.
Spanish.
And just but with them they're great guys, so it's been really easy to get to know them. And a couple of times maybe Bob will ask me to translate some stuff for Brian or for because Pancho speaks good English, so for some of the guys he'll ask me like, hey, can you help me out just translating these things so that they really get the message I'm trying to get across. But in general it's been easy, and for me, like if I'm that bridge between the two sides of the locker room, it's obviously positive.
I think it's very valuable. And even here, do you still, as there phone calls or connections with those guys while you're on quarantine?
Yeah, well, we had like a Latin phone call, like a Zoom call the other day, and it was pretty funny. We had a good time.
Oh, we want to thank Veronica's Insurance. They're here. Gracias por este en vivo, Maxi Pablo. Thank you, Veronica's Insurance, for being a great sponsor and partner for LAFC. We really appreciate. We like doing this a lot more often. I think it's really valuable to that point because some of these guys came over here, started playing, and then this happened. And they don't have that support system, so everything obviously makes a big difference. But I saw Pancho. He's with Diego. I see him on Instagram,
Yeah.
and I saw him today. He had this Laker jersey on. I think it's on Diego. Maybe they're also with Gaston Reno, who's an MMA fighter. They're in the same place. And I saw Pancho with an LA Lakers jersey, and it put a big smile on my face. It meant like he's getting comfortable.
En estos momentos cualquier cosa puede pasar. Por eso, asegura tu auto contra robo y vandalismo, protestas, daños a cristales o incendios, explosiones o cualquier otro tipo de daño.
Nosotros tenemos más agentes y más locaciones para darte los precios más bajos.
En 5 minutos consigue el seguro que necesitas al mejor precio. Llama ya, 1-800-639-3939.
Verónica tiene los precios más bajos.
a Lakers jersey. So
There you go. Had some technical difficulties.
I gotta say how quickly we got this resolved. So we're back. We're back and running. I think we're talking about Pancho and his Lakers jersey.
Oh yeah. Well, the Pancho and Diego are obviously very close because they were together with the Uruguayan national team. So that obviously that helps, and Diego's been really good, kind of helping Pancho out during this whole quarantine. You know.
Yes, it's very cool. Let me get that back. Woohoo! We are Max Live, presented by Veronica's Insurance. We're with Pablo Sisniega. So it's interesting, and maybe you can talk about this, but you had the partnership, the two Uruguayans, and then you have three, and then you have the two Ecuadorians. And there was like some comfort in that they had something familiar. Do you sense that when you see these guys in training, how they kind of gravitate? I know they're part of the big group, but they have people they can gravitate that they can relate to.
Yeah, I think it's helpful because if you see, like, we have a lot of different nationalities, but especially with Latin Americans, we have like 2 or 3 of each nationality, so it kind of helps.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It really is, because I mean, you see Colombia, we have Eddie and Edward. Obviously, Uruguay, we have the 3 guys. Ecuador, we have 2 guys. So it's just like, I think it definitely helps them when they're adapting to have somebody from their own country to kind of relate to, and that they can relate to with the different, just with everything that's going on, you know?
Who was the guy that put you under their wing when you arrived? Who put you at ease and you started going, oh, this guy's cool?
Well, I knew Carlos since before all this, like since before I came here. So obviously, I already had a good relationship with him, so it was good with him. But kind of all the Latin guys really, like, they're just great guys. So we got along right away, and we have a really strong group. So it's been great to kind of whenever we're traveling, when we get to hang out, it's just been great.
So you're 24. When was the first time you met Carlos?
The first time I met him was when I was 16, and I was actually on trial at Real Sociedad.
That's got to be near the top of the list of guys that you met when you were a kid. When you were growing up, obviously you knew what you wanted to do. Who was the one that you got starstruck when you met?
I mean, probably I don't know, because it'd be between, I think Osvaldo was one of the big ones.
Yeah.
Because I met him when I was 8 years old, and obviously I'd only seen him on TV. So when I actually got to meet him, I was like, wow, like, and he gave me his jersey after a game, and it blew my mind. And I still have that jersey. I have it in my house in Philadelphia, but that kind of just blew my mind to see him up close and to have him give me his jersey after a game. It was just that moment. I still have it in my memory.
This is Max Live, presented by Veronica's Insurance. Sorry for some technical difficulties, but we are running here with Pablo Sisniega. Pablo, I want to share one of my favorite World Cup stories. Maybe you remember it. You might have been maybe too young, because I think it was 2006? It actually might have been 2010. Mm-hmm. And Osvaldo Sanchez was the #1 goalkeeper. And I think he lost his father. His father passed away.
No, it's 2006.
Was that 06?
Yeah, 06.
So Osvaldo Sanchez I liked, but since I was a big USA fan, I was like, Osvaldo Sanchez, El Tri, USA. Mm-hmm. So they played Iran in the opening group, and it was one of the most incredible gestures. So the Iranian team, we didn't know if they knew about Osvaldo Sanchez. They come out, and the Iranian goalkeeper had this bouquet of flowers, mm-hmm. and he gave it to Osvaldo, and you could see him say, I'm so sorry for your loss. Mm-hmm. And Osvaldo Sanchez sat there, and he looked at it, and he was so taken by the gesture. And I just remember, no one really mentioned, I just saw it happen. I'm thinking about it now, and it gives me goosebumps. Just these beautiful moments of football that I remember. And Osvaldo Sanchez was part of that one. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. No, I remember that. I remember that the federation told him that if he wanted to, he could miss the first game. Right. And he said that he wanted to stay because it's what his dad would have wanted. So he actually flew back in time for that first game. So it was pretty moving to see him there. And obviously they won.
Yeah. I remember Mexico World Cup efforts. You know, obviously the U.S., but we always here in this country we always follow Mexico. They run parallel, and sometimes, like in 2002, they run into each other. But it's always cool to see that. Alfonso, vamos a hacer 2 preguntitas en español. Okay. ¿Qué es tu momento favorito? Esto es Max Live, presentado por Veronica's Insurance. How do I say insurance in Spanish?
Seguro.
Right?
Seguro, sí.
¿Qué es tu momento favorito en tu carrera de fútbol?
De fútbol yo creo que fue mi debut en Primera División. Por debutar aquí en Primera División fue una cosa muy especial para mí.
Y la pregunta que tiene, ¿por qué LAFC? ¿Por qué LAFC?
Me hablaron cuando estaba en la Real Sociedad y la verdad que estaba en un momento muy difícil de mi carrera y me dieron una oportunidad cuando la que yo pensaba que ningún equipo me dio una oportunidad y obviamente estoy muy agradecido con el club por esa oportunidad y estoy muy contento de estar aquí.
¿Tienes un momento favorito de ser fanático de uno de los mundiales, un juego de Liga de Campeones o algo así?
Está difícil. No sé si... Siempre me gusta ver mucho a la selección mexicana en los mundiales, entonces cada vez que juegan un mundial es especial, pero desafortunadamente siempre en ese cuarto partido nos quedamos.
¿Por qué no quinto partido?
No sé, está difícil. Pero entonces,
Está aquí.
entonces cuando nos quedamos en el cuarto, pues ese se me queda en la memoria, ¿no? Pero ojalá el siguiente mundial sea mejor.
Oh, qué bueno. Ahí estamos, en español. That's good for me, too, because I get to practice my Spanish.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I asked Pablo about some of his favorite moments. He likes to, his first game he remembers, I asked him his favorite moment, and also about his favorite viewing moment, just the Mexico World Cups in general, which is I miss the World. I miss these. I miss football. We all do.
Yeah, me too. I think we all do.
Oh, here's a good one. Was that a penal?
No, no era penal.
No era penal?
No era penal.
With all the things that happened, I wanted to ask you this because both your parents are close to the Olympics as Olympic athletes. Has there been discussions or conversations when the Olympics announced that they were going to reschedule, I should say, for another year? Because your dad in particular, very close to the Olympic games. So what was that like?
Well, we've spoken about it a little bit. We haven't really gotten into detail about it because it's still kind of everything is still up in the air with the situation. So it's tough to really know what's going to happen, you know? But obviously, I mean, for sports and for everybody in general, kind of changing the dates it's obviously very, very difficult and very complicated because you're going to have to cancel different competitions that were going to happen next year. And then you're going to have to, so it's going to be, I mean, it's obviously going to be difficult to adapt to everything with the current situation that we're in.
It certainly is, and we kind of have to wait. By the way, Messi or Ronaldo?
I'm actually I like Ronaldo a little more because of his mentality.
You almost felt like you had to apologize for it. I'm sorry.
I feel like a lot of people like Messi more, but for me, I really like Ronaldo's mentality. He just kind of is willing to give whatever it takes to win and to kind of get better on a regular basis.
All right, I'm going to ask some questions that are in here, the folder. This kind of goes haywire because I'll pull them up and I'll try and get rid of them. But what part of Mexico are you from?
Yeah, I was born in Mexico City.
Mexico City. Oh, you know what I like about Mexico City a lot of times?
What?
The tacos. The
Yeah,
taquitos.
al pastor.
Al pastor, my favorite food in the world. What about the LA taco scene? From LA
The LA tacos? I like the street tacos where you just go and have like tacos wherever kind of that are good. I know downtown here has a couple of spots, but I'm just blanking on the name. And I've been to a couple of restaurants. Like I like Toca Madera. That's a good one. Just
Where's that?
That's in Hollywood, but just like in North Hollywood, I think or West Hollywood. I don't know, but I mean, just it's a cool vibe there, you know. So
I will say this: support your local restaurants if they're open. A lot of the taco trucks aren't there right now because it's not safe enough. So we look forward to that. I know at Flamin and Leo's, all these places, we look forward to having them back here soon enough, but we'll be patient like everything else. I miss those. And it's a great deal.
Yeah. Oh, we've done it a couple of times where we go get tacos. And I like the Lakers more. Because I was a Kobe fan growing up, so.
How big was he? How big was Kobe in Mexico?
He was pretty big. I mean, I think he's big everywhere in the world, you know. So in Mexico, obviously growing up, I remember watching him and Shaq, and he's obviously very, very big.
Max Live presented by Veronica's Insurance. Thank you, Veronica. And obviously being here when that happened must have, when the Kobe helicopter crash, that was, it was crazy. I mean, but what did you see from the city when that happened? Was there something that stood out?
I saw that it moved the city. Like it was incredible kind of. I went to the tribute that they had. They literally had to change, like people would write stuff and people would have to change the sheets, well, like the paper where they would write everything, just because of how many people were showing up on a regular basis, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. This is interesting. Were you always the goalkeeper? Was that always?
I mean, when I was really, really young, I kind of played all kinds of positions. But when I was 8 years old, I got to Chivas, and they were missing a goalkeeper. So I was actually wearing an Iker Casillas jersey that day when I went for the tryout, and they were like, "Are you a goalkeeper?" I was like, "Yeah, I am," and I did well in that trial. And since then, I've been a goalkeeper. I love the position, so I wouldn't change it.
That is an amazing story. I'm surprised it took so long. Maybe you said it before I wasn't listening, but that's an amazing story. Some people are asking about the mustache. We're just telling them again, you cut it off this week. So that's it. This
Yeah,
is the
I had to shave it 3 days ago. It just wasn't good enough. So I figured it was time to go.
Okay, we'll ask one more question because it's getting late. I know you got to get your beauty sleep. So we kind of talked about how was it in Spain? Maybe get a little bit closer to how was it in Spain and how that helped your development.
I would say overall it was a very positive experience. It helped me grow a lot and it helped me mature because I went there when I was like just turned 17. So it really made me mature quickly and realize that if I wanted to do this, I would have to grow a lot as a player. But then I had a hard time the last 2 years because of the injuries I suffered while I was there. But overall, I would say my experience was good and it definitely helped me improve a lot as a player and helped me get to where I am today.
How would you the standard in Major League Soccer, certainly at LAFC, compare to some of your experiences in Spain and in Mexico?
Well, in Mexico, I was in Chivas until I was 14, so I left kind of young. So it's hard to speak about that because I wasn't really there at a professional level. Then in Spain, obviously the level was very high, and the players there obviously are technically very gifted, and they see the game at another level, and they're very quick. And then here, I think the competition is very, very, very strong, and every game that I've been a part of, I mean, it's just back and forth and crazy games, and it's definitely challenging. I'm definitely trying to keep improving so I can play as much as possible here.
We'll end it with some hijinks because I thought this was funny. What do you get? Have you cut your hair? You haven't cut your hair. Does the fiance help you?
No, I haven't. I actually cut my hair the day before we were supposed to have the Cruz Azul game. So that was literally the day before everything kind of went down, and then I haven't cut my hair since then. So it's getting long, but it's still manageable.
All right, Pablo. See, the button finally got stuck, so that's a good time to chime up. Gracias por estar con nosotros.
Sí, muchas gracias.
Y hablar conmigo y practicar mi español también.
Sí.
Okay.
Muchas gracias.
Okay, Pablo, cuídate. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Te vemos muy pronto.
Sí, te mando un abrazo.
Okay. My Spanish is good, but Pablo makes me nervous. I don't know what to tell you.
No. It's good, Max.
Thank you, Pablo.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us here every Thursday. Thank you, Veronica's Insurance. We'll do this again Thursday. I need a haircut. See, the problem with my hair is when it grows back, there's a lot of gray. Not great. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Boom. Good night, everybody. LAFC Connect. Make sure you tune into LAFC Connect and you sign up for it and it puts all the stuff that we're doing in your calendar. So you just pick up your phone and there it is. It'll say IG Live.
En estos momentos cualquier cosa puede pasar. Por eso, asegura tu auto contra robo y vandalismo, protestas, daños a cristales o incendios, explosiones o cualquier otro tipo de daño.
Nosotros tenemos más agentes y más locaciones para darte los precios más bajos.
En 5 minutos consigue el seguro que necesitas al mejor precio. Llama ya, 1-800-639-3939.
Verónica